Good morning, everybody. Maybe it's afternoon. Maybe it's evening. On today's episode, we're sitting down with another friend of mine named Ethan. He's a musician. He's a woodworker. And funnily enough, he also does jujitsu. It's kind of a theme, and we're going to stick with it for a while. I think I'm going to make this into a season. Not sure how many episodes yet, but season 1 is going to be jiu-jitsu practitioner themed. We're not just talking about jiu-jitsu. In fact, we talk about a lot of things that aren't jiu-jitsu, but maybe we can find a common trend that exists amongst the jiu-jitsu community. Maybe we won't. Maybe I'll just get access to some interesting people through jiu-jitsu. Who knows? I've also been told by Ethan to warn you guys that he was getting sick. Also, we are recording this episode at my jiu-jitsu gym, after close, after we turn the heat off for the evening. So, progressively throughout the episode, the temperature is dropping severely. By the end of it, Ethan is shivering. It sounds amazing. Enjoy this episode of the Mike vs. Void podcast. That's enough.
Now we're going?
Yeah, you can listen to you in your head if it's too loud or too quiet.
No, this is like, I've never had a conversation with somebody face to face while wearing headphones.
It takes a second to get used to. Yeah.
I like it. I don't mind it.
No.
This is what people feel like on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Maybe. They probably feel a little bit different, like their career's about to explode.
Yeah, I would always think, like, if I was ever to go on there, I don't know if I'd be able to handle it. Knowing there's like 20 million people about to watch this episode.
I feel like after a certain point, and not just I feel like, I think it's kind of human nature. After a certain amount of people, it becomes like an ambiguous public, you know?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's like, if you're speaking to a big crowd, you're not like counting the individual heads.
Yeah, it's and I think one of the magics about podcasting, or what made it so cool, is you very quickly forget you're podcasting.
Yeah. Like, are we recording right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
We have been for a while.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, no, but it'll be like the first 5 minutes. It's like the first time you like pick up your phone and record yourself. It's the same thing. Like, it takes a long time, but once I started doing social media for a while, and it was always weird, like talking to a camera, and then it hit a point where I was just like, yeah, like this is just like talking to somebody else. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I'm not good at talking to the camera. I tried to record an episode back a while ago, like during COVID, actually, when the big gun ban, the first one, came through. I posted a video about that and recorded. So I recorded it with my GoPro and then did audio through this. And I found all of the recordings when I was going through, and you have to clap so you can line up the audio with the video.
Oh, okay.
So you slow everything down, stretch the frames out, you see the exact bump in the audio, and you can pause on the frame of the clap, line the two up, and then the audio synced. Mm-hmm. That's why they have those clacker boards at movies. It's the exact same thing. So there's at least 20 minutes of me just going, fuck. And I'm just like, sometimes I'm like, fuck this, and I just go again.
You're going to start, and then you just quit. I did that for a long time, man. Like, I've been making videos since I was probably 10 or 12. I would start with my cousin out in Aurelia. We'd get our Nerf guns, and we'd make little Nerf war movies.
Nice.
And we were going hard at that for like 3 years, maybe something like that. But that taught me like the basics for video editing and everything, and I kind of got away from it for a bit. And then I started out my business and realized how important social media is. So now I just use it for everything. Like the amount I edit on my computer and the amount that I've learned from when I was young. Like, I have 10 years experience if you think about it.
Yeah.
Video editing. So it's all these little tricks and tips you learn when you're younger. My buddies watch me edit videos and they're like, holy shit, like, you're whipping through this because you've been doing it for so long. You don't even notice. But
No, I use Audacity to edit my audio, and I just have a macro set up. So I isolate noise, cut that out, and then just run the macro. Takes about 15 minutes depending on the length of the podcast. That's done. I'll volume balance both of the tracks. So I'll move the guest slightly to the right ear, me slightly to the left ear.
Oh, okay.
Just so like when you're listening to it, you can kind of feel the difference.
So this is what I've been learning with like editing my own music.
Yeah.
Because I got into writing songs and everything. I've been playing guitar since I was young. But I started like editing them. Dude, it's a whole nother thing from video editing. So
Yeah.
now I'm learning how to do audio. I've done video. So now I know just to go someone who's done it and learn from them. And then it's like getting a mentor. It's like a cheat code. So a guy from the gym here, Kyle, he had a band for a while and he's got a studio at his house. So I'm going to go there and learn.
Blonde Kyle?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sick.
He's got like a rock band. Have you heard his music?
No.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
have to give it a listen.
So he's got a whole studio at his house. So I'm gonna go
Really?
there and learn from him. But
Bro, I'm next in line.
Dude, yeah.
I'm gonna sign the guest list.
so
Get in
all,
there.
all the stuff like I've learned from like editing my music, and I'm the one listening to me playing the guitar and me singing. So I'm picking everything apart. Like nothing is what I would like it to sound like.
I know the feeling.
So now I do the tuning to the left, tuning to the right a little bit, add EQ, all that stuff. I'm learning all these terms and how all these things work. I find it better. Man, I just send it to this guy I met, $30. He does it all for me and it comes back and I don't have to listen to it over and over and over again and pick it apart. And by the end of editing like a song myself, I'll be like, I don't want to put it out
Yeah.
because it's me listening to it. But then like if you put it down for a couple weeks, listen to it again, you're like, oh, this isn't that bad. There's something there.
I get lucky because I don't edit for content in any way. Like I don't edit pauses out. If someone wants to sit and think about it, I think it's important that kind of passes through to the listener. So I don't edit any of that out. So I don't really have to listen to it. I just have to listen to the first chunk, make sure the noise cancellation worked. And then, I'll jump to a spot and I just hope that it's a good spot where the guest is speaking and saying
Yeah,
something nice. And I'm like, oh, this sounds so sick.
Yeah. No,
And we go
that's
from there.
that's mostly with music. It's like the fine little details, which is like when you're listening to yourself again. It's just
Yeah.
like, man,
I still don't like it. It freaks me out.
it takes a long time to get used to your voice. Like I said, video editing, all that stuff takes a long time to be comfortable talking to a camera, listening to yourself on the camera, doing all that stuff. But again, just like everything comes with time.
What drew you to creative pursuits?
Creative pursuits.
Well, like jujitsu, relatively creative.
Yeah.
Producing music, writing
Well-
songs, making Nerf battle movies.
I guess like a lot of it's my family.
Yeah.
That would be what that is. Like jiu-jitsu, my cousin, he's a purple belt in Aurelia. He got me into it. He was listening to Jocko and he's like someone I look up to. I'm like, okay, I want to be like this guy when he's older. Like my cousin got his own house, paid off, beautiful wife, beautiful kids. Like you literally like sit on the deck, have a beer and watch your kids run around in the yard. Like that's my
That's
life
sweet.
goal. That's all I've wanted since I was like 14, 15 was that. Buy 100 acres, build a house, get a wife, have some kids, sit on the porch, have a beer, and watch them run in the yard. So he's got that. So he brought up jiu-jitsu a bunch. And I was like, oh, yeah, whatever. Like, we're not fighters in North Bay or anything like that. Like, we grew up in a family where you don't go to the gym. You, like, go chop wood. Like, that's what my dad's famous line is. He's like, why would I go to the gym and, like, look at myself in the mirror? Like, I'm going to go just chop wood. Which, obviously, is not a great, like, workout. It's a good workout, but it's not, like, strengthening your joints for jiu-jitsu or fighting. So, anyways, my cousin's always telling me, try jiu-jitsu. Try it. Told me and my brother, try it. So, one day, actually, funny story, I'm playing guitar with my neighbor. Turned out to be a blue belt and owned, at the time, I don't know if he owned it. He worked at Grounded in North Bay. So he was like, yeah, bro, like, come out. Like, try it. Let's see what it is. So I get there. It's like one day after school. I said, I don't even know why I was drawn to it. I was just like, fuck it. Like, whatever. Let's go see.
Yeah.
So I go in. I'm really early. Waited around. Went in. We're doing shrimps. I'm like, this is the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, this is like karate class. Like, I don't want to do this. we're shrimping. All of a sudden we're rolling, and I'm like, well, I'm like, really enjoy this. Like, I'm breaking a sweat. I was so tired after the first class. I literally came home at like 7 o'clock, passed out till like 9 the next day. It was insane. And I wasn't fully hooked then. Like, I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then I decided I'd give it a shot for like 2 weeks to a month. And then just started training, getting involved in it. Started doing my research, and I was just like, this is a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
This is something I should be doing. Got into it, and now I'm here. So that was how I got into jiu-jitsu, which is kind of weird. Got into jiu-jitsu through
Playing guitar.
music, which is kind of, now that I'm thinking about it, kind of links it together, but it's pretty neat. But that's how I got into it, and then I met you guys, came here, and it's been great ever since.
Just absolute wild boys and girls.
Dude,
Running around the gym.
This is one of my favorite places on earth.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't disagree.
it's
my temple. It's my church. It's like,
yeah, like my favorite place on earth would be my hunt camp for sure,
yeah,
because it's just like you look up to the sky and no light pollution. Like, you're 50 kilometers away from anybody. You hear the wolves in the background. Like, that to me is like the best. But when I think of like when I'm like laughing and smiling and like with my closest friends, it's like at the gym,
yeah,
which is crazy because, again, I played hockey when I was younger. I started really late. Started when I was 15 or something. Only played hockey for 4 or 5 years, pretty competitively, like played decently high level. And then all of a sudden I found jiu-jitsu, and I was like, wow, hockey doesn't matter at all. Like, I don't want to play hockey at all. And then it was like last year, high school, COVID was happening again. Like, it was spiking up, and they were like, they shut down the league, and then they were like, do you want to come back? Well, I just told the guys, I was like, no. And then a couple weeks later, it was like training jiu-jitsu like 3-4 times a day, which you could do that in North Bay. It was pretty sweet. So yeah, that's how it went. And then that's how I've been since. Like, if I'm healthy enough and able and there's classes, like, I drive to Aurelia Sunday night sometimes, hit an open mat, and then drive back, which is
That's a
crazy.
haul.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like 2 hours, but it's
no,
worth
I
it.
get it.
But yeah, no, I'm fully invested. Like, it's my favorite. Like, I'm trying to think. It's definitely my favorite sport.
Yeah.
But like, I said, grew up playing hockey. Never really played anything else, but found jiu-jitsu, and it's just like, this is what your life is. I'll do this the rest of my life.
There's something, like, especially if you like to think about things.
Yeah.
There's something, and you have like a bit of an athletic background, or even if you don't. Jiu-jitsu is nice because, first of all, it's so distracting from anything else that's going on in your life.
Yeah.
Second of all, it's pursuit in a way that is both macro, like you want to get to a black belt one day. You want to develop your game a bit better. You've got guys in the gym that you want to catch. You want to work your way up to. And then in the micro, like, just when you're drilling, rolling, learning a new technique, you're constantly in that pursuit of, it's like aha moments. You know, like when you're hiking or backpacking and you break through a clearing onto a river and you look around, or it's at night and you step outside and you look up, it's like those goosebump moments.
Yeah.
In jiu-jitsu, you can artificially create, they're not the same intensity, but you'll be trying a specific move or a pin in a position, and you'll try it enough times, and then it clicks. And you don't know exactly what's changed. Like, you couldn't teach someone in that moment. But then 15 times later, you start to see what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, you're constantly on this, like, a bit of a journey of self-discovery about, okay, this is working and I don't know why. I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
But no, I find jiu-jitsu is one of those, there's lots of things out there that can artificially kind of create those aha moments. But jiu-jitsu, for me at least, creates them.
It's just, like everyone says it, but you go on the mats for 2 hours, and all you're thinking about is trying not to get strangled,
Yeah.
trying not to get your arm snapped, and then you leave it. The best thing, like, I'm injured right now.
Yeah.
I'll come to the gym
Yeah.
all the time. I literally just hang out.
I do the same thing when I'm busted.
When I'm hurt, man, the hangout after is like one of the best parts too.
Yeah.
Like just shooting the shit. Like we'll leave here at like 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
We've been talking for 3
Or
hours.
in the summer, just standing in the parking lot.
Yeah.
No one wants to leave.
Telling stories, and we're like, those are some of my favorite moments. Again, when I think back, like happiest I've ever been, it's like hanging out with your buddies. Like these little moments, you just think of, it's the best. But no, jiu-jitsu is like I go home and I study it, and it's just another thing that I can get better at.
Yeah.
Like that sounds cliche, but it's like guitar, you can always get better. Like as soon as you think, there's a guy named Colter Wall, I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's a country singer, but he always says like if you think you know everything about guitar, you might as well just put it down. So it's like you can always learn something with guitar. You can always learn something in jiu-jitsu, like from anybody. And things like that, like woodworking, whatever, there's always something to get better at.
Yeah.
So it's like these are things that's life's purpose.
No, for sure. Anton and I talked about it on one of our episodes. There's people who really enjoy pursuing a goal, like setting a thing and getting after it. And, there's all kinds of people, but jiu-jitsu seems to attract these people who are looking for the unclimbable mountain that never has a pinnacle, that never has a peak. You're not looking to be the best. You're not looking to get to a specific set point. You want to engage in a task that has no end.
Yeah, you don't want the what next moment.
Yeah.
Because if you set a goal, like some people get stuck in that. They set a goal, I want to make like $1 million.
Yeah.
They make their $1 million, and it's like, what next? I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu is never like, what next? And I really like that. I was listening to that, and Anton was telling, and it's why he's so good. He goes, like, I don't know, like, how is he explaining it? I don't want to mess up how he's explaining it. He was saying, like, he was trapped in the way of thinking, like, what do I do if I don't fight?
Yeah.
And then he found all his other things, like, oh, I'm a great tattoo artist, I have a great family man, like, whatever. But why he's so good is because he has that mindset of, like, this is, like, the goal.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I need to do.
The mission.
I will never think of jiu-jitsu like that because I'm not on, like, the level he is. Like, he's a professional fighter. So that's, like, how he was born, how he was raised. Like, that's the goal.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like my goal. I would never like look at a fight and be like how was he explaining that? He was saying
he looks at each fight as the mission.
Yeah.
It's everything must be committed
Right.
to this one task because it's pass fail.
Mhm.
There's no grading. There's no, okay, you did 70% of the work. We'll give you your, license. It's not like there's very little things in life that are truly pass fail.
But he was so stuck. That's what he kept saying. He was so stuck and so worried about the next fight and like pulling out the fight and like that. And that's why he's such a savage. It's because that's like how his brain is wired. It's like this is like all or nothing. For me, like I look at jiu-jitsu and martial arts as like my all or nothing. Like I said, is having a family on 100 acres.
Yeah.
That's what I've always been working towards. It's always been in my mind. It's what gets you going. Like I gotta install a pool tomorrow. Like minus 20 or whatever it's going to be. And I don't want to do it, but
it's the next step.
But it's
on that
like
journey.
I want 100 acres one day. So I got to learn the value of money and I got to learn how to work.
Yeah.
But like he was saying, like it was really cool to see the insight on how he looked at fighting and see how it's different in different people.
Yeah.
Because for me, I'm a hobbyist. It was really cool to see it from a pro's eyes. That's how I'm trying to explain it.
Yeah.
It's cool to see it from a pro's eyes because I just come here, I shoot the shit. Like
Same.
I'll be getting beat up and I'm like, yeah, you guys suck. And then they'll just like continue to beat me up and it's fun. And I love it. But I'll never look at it as like this is like what I need to be like doing professionally, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm trying to explain it.
No, like when you go and build that pool tomorrow in minus
I don't
20.
really care about that at all.
But what I mean is that's the next thing towards the 100 acres.
Yeah, that
for Anton, jiu-jitsu class is
Right.
building the pool.
right. That's
You know?
I guess so. Yeah, that's like his. And like I said again, it was really cool to see into the mind of someone who does this professionally compared to like a hobbyist. That's what I'm trying to get at. But no, building a pool is just learning the value of money.
Yeah, but
'Cause it's like-
that's an important value to learn,
It is, but
especially nowadays. Like,
oh boy, it's gonna be fun.
yeah,
And then with my cousins, like my cousin's down here, and we just chirping the whole time. It's a lot of fun. I honestly really enjoy it. Like, it's my favorite job I've ever had.
Yeah.
And since I was young, I've always been learning to work with my hands and stuff like that, because that's the family I grew up in. Super lucky, like super spoiled growing up. Like, really like beautiful garage, nice tools, parents that really care about me. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But what they always said is like, you go to work.
Yeah.
So it's like, since I was 14, it's like cleaning boats. I was so young, I had a guy like flick like cigarette butts at me once, and he was like, pick those up. And I was like, I was young enough that I was like, hey, can't ruin like the family name here. I'm just going to pick up the cigarette butts. Now, bro, I would love for someone to flick a cigarette butt at me now. It would be so crazy, because you get older and you start to learn that like hard work isn't like doing everything that everyone says.
No.
So yeah, I cleaned boats for a bit. I was an iron worker for a bit, cabinet maker. Then I ran a business for a while too. So, but the business only really succeeded because I was spoiled enough to have like a nice garage and not a lot of overhead. Like parents helped out a fair amount with that.
Yeah, but that's that's kind of part of it.
Like, no, I'm not trying to like
No.
say like I started from the ground up. No, I was spoiled. I have a good foundation. Like, I have again, super grateful for my parents. But that's what got me to my first snowmobile. And my first Sea-Doo was starting the business and just working at it. But just working with your hands has always been something that's like, it's what we do.
Almost every job. Well, no, I guess like 50% of my work has been with my hands. Like, I've done a bunch of kinds of construction. I've done some contracting, some roofing, all that stuff.
Roofing is a hard job,
bro.
That's a crazy job.
Yeah,
and the people you're surrounded by is wild boys.
I was lucky. I was working with a contracting company. I was working with a buddy of mine, Gary, and he was a pretty seasoned contractor, and I was just the help. But we're doing this roof in the middle of summer, and it was like 22 degrees out, and so we rip all the old shingles off, and we're just throwing them in this little spot beside the house where they had like ground that we could sweep easy to get all the nails up. And it's at the end of one of the days, and I'm just like doing my thing, and he's like, he looks at me, he's like, bud, I gotta sit down. I'm sun fucked.
Yeah.
I can't do this shit anymore. I'm sorry. You need to keep going for a bit. We'll quit in like 2 hours, but I need to sit down for like 10 minutes. And he's sitting there, and he said one of the funniest lines ever. He was a good friend, and he knew I was Jewish. He looks over at me, he's shaking his head, and I'm like, what? He's like, you can take the Jew out of the oven, but you can't take the oven out of the Jew.
Oh,
and I was
boy.
like, oh,
Ay. Yeah,
No,
that sounds
it
like
was-
a roofer.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I love the trades.
yeah.
Work sites are crazy. We're in school right now, and they're talking about like safe environment in the workspace.
Oh my God.
And like what personality you are, and like when you go to work, like you have to be really good at like talking to people. You have to be really kind. And dude, I go to a work site, I'm getting called the craziest shit you've ever heard as soon as you get there.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious, because I'm like, oh, whatever, like it's funny. But some people, like, they're gonna come out of school and they're gonna go to work site. It's gonna be a rude awakening, because it is not how they teach it in school. So right now I'm in third year, and it's like we're doing all these like course management, like people management courses, and it's like, oh, you guys are in for a rude awakening.
Yeah,
like this
job site's going to be a whole new experience.
Especially like, I wouldn't trade it for anything, but like growing up, going to be an iron worker and going to be like a cabinet maker and stuff. It's like, those are like, iron workers definitely like one of the jobs that is like,
Yeah.
do you want to hear some wild shit?
Yeah. I don't even want to imagine. I've never done anything like that.
Oh,
so.
dude, the guy had some crazy stories. Yeah, he was a great guy, but he was like, you would walk into that iron shop, and it was like in the morning they would cut like aluminum all night, and you couldn't see the roof. It was just all like blue smoke. And you'd walk in, and I'd wear a little mask and my coveralls, and it was like plus 30 out. I was like, man, there's nothing more that I want to do than just leave, but you can't. But yeah, you'd start at 6 and at 3. He was a great guy. He taught me so much. So when I go to be a teacher, like, I'm gonna have all these skills. Like, I was an iron worker for 4 months, like a cabinet maker for 5. Like, I ran a business for 4 or 5 years now, and it's like now I'm installing pools, but learning like general construction, all this stuff. It's like I'm gonna have a Swiss Army knife, not a Leatherman, but I'm gonna have a Swiss Army knife of tools that I can teach the students, make sure that they're working safely, and point them in the right direction of who to go learn to, or learn from.
Yeah.
In like where I'm from, so that they can go out and learn even more than from what I can teach them. I can teach them the basics right now.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable teaching the basics. Like in jiu-jitsu, I would feel comfortable teaching like a basics class.
Yeah.
But I can also, if I need to, we got a brown belt here named Scott. If I need to, I can outsource. If I don't know something, go talk to Scott. It's the same thing. Like if I'm going to be a teacher, I don't know something, here, I'm going to call up my boss when I was an iron worker. We can go out and have a school field trip there and learn from him.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why I started doing it. But
So teaching. Why do you...
teaching.
What got you into teaching? Like, I teach jiu-jitsu here. I like to lecture about shit.
Teaching.
My poor girlfriend has had to listen to so many hour-long lectures about the dumbest things. Like, last night, I explained for probably 45 minutes why a prop plane can't break the sound barrier. And she's like, it's perfect. She just falls asleep to it.
Yeah,
I'm
perfect.
like, so you get flow separation when you spin the prop too fast. And she's like, flow separation.
Yeah.
But
It's like
teaching-
white noise.
Yeah.
Teaching. I kind of look at it as a financial standpoint. I want to teach kids to work safely and make sure kids get back into trades. That's one of the things. Shop teachers are always like sick dudes.
Yeah.
Like they have like the coolest job. I was going to be an engineer. I took all the courses. I was going to be a mechanical engineer or a technologist. And that's what my whole family is. Like my brother, he's a mining and a mechanical engineer. He's a genius. Dad's a technologist. Papa's a technologist, whatever. Always grew up working with their hands. I was going to be an engineer, and then I couldn't stand sitting at a desk. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. I said, what would be a good job with good like pension, good benefits, that's safe, easy on my body,
Yeah.
that's going to be different every day? Shop teacher.
Yeah, that definitely qualifies.
Summer's off. I can work another job, getting me even a step closer towards my property. So I thought all these things, and you know, my mom's a teacher, and my dad, he always wanted me to be an engineer. And he's like talking to me being a teacher. He's like, oh, okay, whatever. Just recently, he's been like, teaching's actually a really good gig. And he's like, I've been talking to a lot of people, and I tell them you're going to be a shop teacher, and they're like, that's a really good idea.
So I think one of the first things I said to you, I was like, that's sick.
I always thought it was a smart idea. And, you know, I was always getting like, oh, you're going to be a woodworking teacher. It's like, yeah. Teach them how to work safely. I'm working indoors, climate controlled, snow days. Sure, you got to deal with some shitheads, but I train jiu-jitsu. Like, I'm a very calm person.
Yeah.
There's only like 3 people that can get me rattled. It's my brother, my mother, and my father.
Yeah.
Anyone else, man, it's just like, I really don't care.
Yeah, it's like, it's not worth the time.
So if I'm dealing with kids, it's whatever. You want to be a little shit, then I'm going to treat you the same as everybody else. But when 2 people have their hands raised and one's really nice kid who wants to learn and one isn't, I'm going to go to the one that wants to learn. I'll teach him. I'll come to you after, but that's how I got into it. I thought of it as a business plan. The real goal is record me building my tiny house.
Yeah.
And get that to be the source of income on YouTube. Sorry, I need some water.
Get some.
Oh my god.
No, my grandmother, who's I'm not like, I have a complicated relationship with my parents.
Yep.
But I'm pretty close with my grandparents on my mom's side.
Mhm.
I like to write and stuff, and I've been working on that for a couple years. My grandmother's a prolific writer. She's published everything from novels to short stories to flash fiction stuff.
Really?
She's won awards for her writing. She's been an editor most of her life. She was the executive of editing at CBC, the entire thing. Yeah, she was like, and she did it in the like 80s when women weren't invited into the workplace, when it
Good
was
for
like,
her.
yeah, you had to be an absolute battle axe to get in there. But she taught an English course at a university, and she's I wanted to go into teaching when I was a little bit, like 5-6 years ago. I wanted to be a professor. Not sure exactly what I wanted to teach, maybe philosophy. I was living with PhD students, and they were like, man, you'd be sick, prof. That'd be fun.
Dude, you have some like wisdom coming out of you sometimes.
Sometimes.
Like,
please add the sometimes. Sometimes I just say dumb shit.
sometimes you say some wild shit. That's for sure.
Some absolute out of pocket
That's why you
shit.
would be a great prof.
But no, she was like, the one thing that was hard for her is she loves English so much that seeing people disrespect it was hard for her. I think it's better in teaching high school shop because you get, at least in my shop class, from what I can remember from high school, I've hit my head a lot of times, but it's, you get the people who sign up for it because they're interested in it. And you get the people who sign up for it because they're like, oh, it's woodshop, it's a class, I make a table, I get a grade, I'm good to go, it's a credit.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's hard to take a human and have them pour effort into something and not get invested in some way. Like, I can ask someone to write a story, and if they fucking hate writing, it's going to be really hard for me to get them to excited about writing. I have to go about that a different way. I have to get them talking and then be like, you know, how you speak about that.
Yeah.
You should write that down. But there's something that just gets right to the caveman brain. You know, making something out of something, taking raw materials and turning them into something that's nicer.
Well, the way I'm going to look at it is like, what are you making your mom for Mother's Day?
Perfect.
Like,
I made my mom a
what are you
table.
making something for Mother's Day? Because your mother gave birth to you. You're going to make her something, right? Let's make her a nice cutting board.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach you the fundamentals of woodworking while I teach you to make that cutting board. You won't even know I'm teaching you it.
Yeah, I'm going to Mr. Miyagi you.
Yeah, you won't even know. Like, this is how you join a board. This is how you edge join it. You got to do all that first, then you plane it, then you rip it, you do whatever, you glue it together. Before you do it, you got to make sure you know how to run machines safely. That's what I'm going to teach.
Yeah.
It's mostly safety, but when I'm teaching woodworking, like, if you don't want to woodwork, buddy, you're here for 4 months, you're in high school, you're here for an hour, just come on, like, just glue this board together.
Yeah. Let's just glue
And I'm
this
not
together.
going to be like, look, if you don't want to glue the board together, like, I can't make you.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be like,
You might as well.
come on, dude. Like,
yeah, nothing else to do.
like I'm nice to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the good shop. Like,
I think
everyone
you'd be a
loves
good
shop
teacher.
teachers, right?
Yes, I remember.
I'm gonna
my
try
shop
and be
teacher.
the guy that changes a couple kids' lives, that makes their lives a bit better, makes them want to come to school. And I loved all my shop teachers.
Yeah.
They taught me so much.
My woodshop teacher's name was Mr. Woodley.
That's sick.
Yeah, and he was a British dude. And from what I can remember, he taught at a school in Toronto, and he taught English. And there was a school shooting.
Oh boy.
No kids died. It was gang violence.
Okay.
And he was in the halls when it happened, and he just decided that he never wanted to be in a classroom again, but he wanted to teach. And he came from a British family of woodworkers and jointers and stuff like that. So he's like, well, I know a lot about woodworking. I'm just going to go to college for a couple of years and become a woodshop teacher. And he said it saved his love for teaching, being in the woodshop.
I'm super excited. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna plan on teaching woodshop and manufacturing, so like welding and fitting.
Nice. Can you weld?
Oh yeah. That's what I meant by ironworking. Like, I was a welder fitter.
I've welded in a shop for a couple months.
Yeah,
as a
so
fabricator.
I'm pretty comfortable. Like, I grew up, again, with the help of my dad. Like, I can lay a mean bead, so they say.
I can't.
But
Grinder and paint.
Yeah.
I'm that kind of
But
welder.
I built a go-kart when I was 12 with him,
Nice.
and it was a whole welded, like, steel frame, whatever, and I welded it all and learned how to do that. And then when I was in high school, I was teaching. The teacher would get me to be the
Demonstrator?
the demonstrator, but he would also, like, take me and give me a certain amount of kids, like a little group, and oversee them and, like, teach them how to weld. And then we would build, like, a smoker, and he would get certain kids to work with me, and I was, like, the project overseer, manager, or whatever you call it. So that was cool. But what was really cool was I stayed late one day, and I was welding, and I left, like, the weld on the table, and the guy, like, wait, you hear that? I, like, hit the table and it, like, went through. Anyways,
That's fine.
I left the weld on the table, And the guy comes in the next day, he goes, "Whose is this?" I was like, "It's mine." He was like, "This is the best wall I've ever seen." And I was like, "Yes."
Yes.
So I'll hopefully teach at my old high school manufacturing and woodworking. But
Yeah.
again, it's just going to be work safely, have fun. It's a shop. You can like mess around with your buddies. Just be safe. Like you can doodle on your paper, like whatever. It's not like a math class where it's like, this is how it needs to be. Like this is the formula. It's like, there's different ways to do things. Again, just do it safely, and then I won't have to yell at you.
I think the biggest problem with math class is it's not more like the shop class. Like,
Yeah.
I hated math in high school, loved it in college.
Really?
Fell in love with math. Follow math YouTubers now, do math problems for fun.
Wow.
Kind of nerd.
That's like my cousin. My cousin does that.
But I just had a math professor who was just, he was just playful with it. He's like, here's our problem. I've got a scuba tank, and I've got a vehicle, and the tires are flat. Can I fill the tires?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I could never get my head around liking functions or calculus. I did it. Like I said, I was going to be an engineer.
Yeah.
Physics. Loved
All
physics.
day.
Hydraulic. I took a hydraulics class growing up. Loved hydraulics.
Yeah.
Math is like, it's whatever. It's basic formulas, but it's like, I always loved doing it.
Yeah.
Now I'm in woodworking and we have formulas and I'm starting to remember how to do algebra again. And I like find myself like actually liking doing it.
Yeah.
So it's the whole thing. Like if you're using it for the right thing, like I use math every day. Fractions, like I'm good with fractions and stuff like that, and dividing numbers in half or by quarter or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's
That's because you use
definitely
Imperial.
different. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely use Imperial. But we use metric at school.
Really?
Yeah, they make. Well, I guess woodworkers are metric.
Oh.
Mostly Germans and from Europe and all
Yeah,
stuff
okay,
like
that
that.
makes
But
sense.
like I still use Imperial, but metric is way better. We should totally be using.
I agree with you. But after working in a machine shop for a couple of years and working as a gunsmith and
Right.
using a lathe and CNC and stuff like that, I can't think in anything but Imperial now.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like I can picture what 10 thou is, but I can't picture what 3 millimeters is.
Yeah, they would always say your hair is what 4 thou,
Yeah, it's about that.
4 to 6 thou. We were
Well,
always
it
like,
depends on how
we were
thick your
always
hair is,
like,
but yeah.
whoa. We were in like grade 9. We were like, that's crazy. And then we were like, yeah, we're machining within 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, cool. Get the dial caliper out. Let's still make a spinning top. It's the
Yeah.
same thing, but
I remember my boss bought a bunch of tools, and I got to go through them and get it all set up in the shop. And I found Mitutoyo, which is like a really fancy brand of measurement equipment. It's like
Okay.
the peak Japanese measurement. And it was a dial caliper.
Yep.
Or
Or a mic.
micrometer,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah. But it went to tenths,
oh wow,
and it just changed my world.
I bet.
I was just, he's like, because sometimes the parts we're making, the tolerances, so how much bigger, I know you know what tolerances are, but in case someone doesn't,
Yeah, for sure.
you get like a plus minus and you try to hit the center. It can be this much bigger or this much smaller. And in firearms, a lot of the parts, it's like, 5 thou plus
Yep.
or minus. So, or like 5 thou. You can be, 3 thou small, 2 thou big, whatever. But for me, it just changed everything. I was like, no.
To tenths.
I was like, I gotta get it. It took it messes up the value when you're doing production because you need to get enough produced so that there's value in the work. But for me, I just became a perfectionist.
That's what you said when you were a gunsmith. You couldn't
I can't handle it.
detach off it. Yeah.
For me, like, if I'm going to do something, I want to, not necessarily a perfectionist, but I want the quality of the piece I produce to express how much care I take in something. I don't want to make something the cheapest way that'll do the job. I want to make the best thing for the job. And that doesn't fit into production machining.
Nope.
But for me, like, and that's why, like, my favorite part of that job was getting to work on a customer's custom piece. Like, they're going to drop $4,000 on a firearm, and it comes out of the box, and I've got to set it all up, maybe shorten the barrel, do this, do that, and I would spend hours just getting everything dialed in, get it perfect. Because I was like, if I ever had to feed my family with this gun, would I do less work than I'm doing right now?
That's a way to look at that, for
Well,
sure.
I don't know what this person's going to do with this. I don't know if they're taking their son out shooting, up north to hunt for the first time, and I do a crappy job and the muzzle brake falls off and it ruins the trip. I'm never going to be that gunsmith. You know?
I got a story about a gun.
Okay, yeah, shoot.
Okay. I got my first, I think it was my first break, single shot, but it didn't have a hammer. So you just break it.
Yeah.
And when you broke the barrel, when you close the barrel again, it was supposed to push the firing pin back in, right? So you close it.
I already don't like where this is
Yeah,
going.
so you close it. Anyways, it's raining. Shoot a partridge. Safety gun guy went through all that. What is it? Prove, point of safe direction, removal ammunition, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, I had this gun for like a year. In the bush, shooting tons of partridge with it. I'm with my dad. We're out for a walk. I'm deep in the bush. I shoot this bird. I think I hear another one. So I'm looking at the dead one, break the barrel, take the shell out, pocket, take the new one, put it in, close the barrel, gun shoots.
Fuck.
I'm pointing it safely away.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Because my dad is behind me.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Did you see another one?" I'm young. I'm like 13. I was like, yeah. I was so scared.
Oh, brother.
I was like, yeah. I missed it. Then I come out of the bush and I'm like shaking, and he's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "Oh." He's like, "Did you get the other one?" And I was like, "No." And not sound like a dick, but I don't usually miss.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Oh, okay." And then like we're walking, I'm like, "This thing just shot itself." And he was like, and he was like, "What?" I was like, "No, like it shot itself." He was like, "What? Why didn't you just tell me?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm scared. It shot itself here." So then he's looking at it later in the camp that night, and he's like, "Yeah, well, when we close the barrel again and it goes to hit the firing pin, sometimes it doesn't push the firing pin all the way back. Close it, firing pin just comes right back out.
Yeah.
Shoots." So anyways, returned it. Got a nice one with a hammer on it now. So it's always got two safeties, but that always taught me, like,
Yeah.
that's why you point
Never
guns in a
assume
safe direction.
Shit about a gun.
You always just assume it's loaded,
Yeah.
no matter what, no matter where you're pointing it. But that was a crazy one.
I have a similar one. I think I'm 90% sure my only accidental discharge. I was shooting trap, and normally there's 5 positions in trap. You put a shooter in. I know you know what this is.
No.
but 5 positions in trap. There's a shooter in each one. It's getting close to the end of the day, so there wasn't a bunch of people shooting. It was me and one other dude, and I'm using this. I can't even remember. It was like a Stevens. It was an old, should have been retired pump action shotgun.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And so you shoot, you pull the charging handle back, open the breech, eject the shell, and you'll put one in, but you don't rack it because you're just sitting there waiting for your turn. But it was just me and this guy left, and the RSO is hitting the button. He's like, "Why don't you guys see how fast you can go?" Because he's bored. I'm not going to name what range this is. An RSO should not behave this way.
Yep.
But so we're chasing fucking birds. Like as fast as I can load them, my bird's up in the air. So I grab a shell, throw it in, rack it towards the ground to bring it up, rack it forward, boom, right into the dirt. And he's like, "Cease fire." He's like, "What the fuck?" And he comes over and I was like, "I didn't fucking pull the trigger." He's like, "Bullshit, you didn't pull the trigger."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Look at this." And it won't rack because I haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Oh.
Yeah. And he
So
was
what
like,
happened? Do you know?
no, I wasn't a gunsmith at the time, and it wasn't my gun.
Oh boy.
I know I never shot it again, though. And then he's like, "Well, keep going." So I would load the round, bring it up to the bird, then rack it forward, just in case. He was like, "It's unconventional, but it works." But the
Yeah.
problem is you get out of whack because you pull it
racking.
forward, it shoots sometimes.
Yeah.
And when it shoots, you can't rack it back to throw another shell in.
Okay.
So you got to pull the trigger. And
Oh, boy.
it just became a fuck shot. I was just like, no, I'm done.
My favorite shotgun's my 870.
Yeah?
That's all I shoot. Like I shoot trap, and all these guys come with all these expensive guns. My dad's got this like super nice gun.
Yeah.
and he's like trying to learn how to shoot with 2 eyes open, which is crazy that he has that kind of gun.
Yeah.
Love him to death. He's shooting like 15s, which is crazy for trap. It's out of 25.
Yeah.
So I was young growing up. I used to shoot trap competitively. Well, not really competitive. I did like a couple competitions, but it was like the local ones. And I'd go and shoot, and I would go against my brother and whatever, and I could barely hold the gun up. I got a permanent bruise like on my shoulder from it. But now I go back, and all these old guys are trying to get me to like try their like fancy guns, and I'm like, I haven't shot trap for like a couple years at this time. I go back, and I shot like 23 with this 870, and they're all like, how the fuck, like, I don't understand. I'm like, man, you guys are just overthinking it. Like, you just got to shoot the bird.
Yeah.
And they got all these expensive guns, but my favorite gun is like my $800 like 870, which is like what I use for duck hunting. It's what I use for trap. And my dad's trying to get me to get a trap gun. I was like, no, man, like this 870 works good. Like, I don't need anything else.
I have an old police issue Defender.
Okay.
Yeah, a Winchester Defender.
Okay, yeah.
It was the police model. That's what I use.
Dude, you don't
Fun.
need anything. It's like
It
these
works.
mics.
Yeah.
You can have this mic here.
Yeah,
I guarantee you
one
it's
day.
not that big of a difference.
Yeah.
It feels a lot cooler probably talking
yeah,
into
probably
it.
feels cool.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm
whatever.
on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah. Jamie,
Um,
pull that up, please.
Yeah, Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah.
No, I find that with a lot of things that with shooting, jiu-jitsu, whatever other pursuits, overthinking usually gets you in a lot more trouble than underthinking. Underthinking can be its own problem. I pick a lot of sports where there's high risk. It's kind of my realm, as opposed to like you were talking about Anton and the difference with you and Anton. And I do get a lot of that stuff from jiu-jitsu as well. But for me, it's the calmness. Like growing up, I had a spicy childhood. We'll leave it at that for now. So like for me, fight or flight mode is kind of like it's my safety place to go to.
Yeah.
I'm really, really good at surviving shit. I'm not great at thriving. So when shit's going wrong, that's kind of when I'm in my zone. So I've always picked sports, like getting into skydiving, scuba diving, motorcycles, jiu-jitsu.
Skydiving is a wild one.
Bro, I haven't done the skydiving yet. I started with tunnel flying and fell in love with it right away.
I don't know if I could do
It's
that.
wild. Oh, I'll get you in the tunnel sometime. The tunnel's fun.
I'll go in a tunnel, but I won't.
Yeah.
I won't jump out of a plane. There's no way.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I
Kind
want to
of a
get
bitch,
tandem
so.
certified and strap all of you fuckers to me one at a time.
There's
Huck
no
you out of a
way.
plane.
There's no way. I'd
Oh
do
yeah,
that, dude.
you would.
Oh man, no, but I know what you're saying. Like picking jujitsu and stuff like that. It's you can move it. Oh yeah.
Sorry, you can move the
Yeah,
mic. Why
yeah.
don't I just whisper?
Yeah.
You can move that mic, baby. Sorry.
Welcome back to ASMR. Yeah,
I'm gonna peel a potato.
No, jujitsu is like there's a very thin line of overthinking and underthinking, and then committing.
Yeah.
So with my takedowns, with my double legs and stuff like that, I overthink. I don't commit enough. I know I don't, but I still need to like beat it out of me. So sometimes I'll commit and I'll get a double leg.
Yeah.
It's with takedowns. You just got to commit.
Yeah.
With the Darce is like my favorite submission.
I hate you.
It's my favorite. But the thing is, I don't really like overthink it that much. I kind of just like frig it. I'll just like throw it on, and if I get it, I get it. And that's what I started doing. And then I started like when I wasn't rolling, I would overthink it. But then when I would roll, it would just be like, just throw it and see what happens. And then it was like you learn from experience like that. But it's just like not overthinking it and be like, oh well, what if I throw this? Like, oh, what'll happen? It's like no, just see what happens. So now I've sharpened it enough to where it's decent, but it's like you just keep throwing it.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't overthink it. But with like other moves, you gotta overthink it, or else it doesn't work. And it's like I don't know. It's so fun. Like it's fun being able to sometimes turn your brain off, and then other times like your brain's like fully active. If that makes sense.
No, absolutely. You're heavily taxing your brain cognitively.
Yeah, and you're not getting brain damage, which is the best thing.
Yeah. I started working on a book a long time ago. I need to work on it more because writing a book takes time, but there's a lot of research involved. And it's the concept of, not to get completely off topic, but in therapy, there's a concept of chair time. Like if I was to be your therapist, I'd have to earn your trust. We have to get to a certain level to where you feel comfortable opening up. That can take time. But when we shoot the shit after jiu-jitsu, like it took you and me to roll like 3 times and we were bros.
Yeah.
Real fast.
Like right away.
Right away. It's like, oh, this is my people.
Yeah,
This is one
It's
of the
just-
dudes.
Yeah, like I came here, man, and it was like, I just love all these guys. It took me a while. Like, obviously, I wasn't like how I am now.
Yeah.
But when I first came here, I was just like a scared kid from North Bay, and I come to the 5 a.m. classes, and then it just clicked like really recently. Not really recently, but recently that I'm like these are like my some of my best friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And at least for dudes, I don't know what I didn't read a lot of research about therapy when it comes to women, because so cancelable. But men and women socialize differently.
Yeah.
Men tend to pick social acquaintances, partners, whatever term you want to use, based on activity, a shared activity. Men usually become friends around a task. We do the task together, and we become friends with the people we share the task with. So one thing a problem I've wanted to solve, because I've been in therapy for 16 years now.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's funny, my shrink's actually a guitar player. His favorite guitarist is Brad Paisley.
Okay.
He just loves how purist Brad Paisley is about stuff, like power cleaners on everything.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
just hardcore with stuff.
Yeah.
But one thing I've always wondered is how can we build that kind of, first of all, why? Why does doing jiu-jitsu make us close friends quickly? What is it about it specifically? And how can you artificially simulate that to someone who's going through therapy? Which is what pointed me towards skydiving. There's a thing they do with dogs when you've got a really bad dog and you need to start training. And it's really aggressive and it's a big, powerful dog. You throw it in a fucking pool and suddenly it's a puppy again. Oh. And that, I don't know dog psychology, but I'm assuming, it's scared of swimming. It's in an environment. It's vulnerable. There's an aspect of vulnerability. And I don't think it's purely based on that. I think something really special happens in the human brain when you load it heavily. Like when your computer fans spin up and the stuff starts to overheat. And there's not a lot in the world, especially not in our day-to-day lives, we do that causes that. So it's this concept of cognitive load. How much are we taxing the brain? And when you do jiu-jitsu, you are taxing the motor cortex because you're moving your body around. You're taxing your body's ability to understand where it is. You have to know which, you constantly get confused about which lapel on your gi is yours, whose foot is that. You get really confused. So there's this kind of exteroreception is the nerdy science term. There's interoception, exteroception. Where is my body in space? Which taxes the brain quite heavily. That's why when someone's drunk, we ask them to close their eyes, tilt their head back, and touch their nose. Because it's very hard to predict where your body is in space without your visual cortex. When you're doing jiu-jitsu, you don't have your visual cortex. You can't see your feet. You don't know which side of the leg a lockdown is on. When you're flying around in the wind tunnel, you can't see if your back is arched enough. There was a really good documentary on Netflix about taking veterans with brutal PTSD and teaching them to surf. And it helped them a lot. And so it got me thinking, how can we make a therapist's job easily? Because it's a big problem in Canada, which is where we're recording this. I've had so many people come to me quietly on the side and be like, hey, dude, I know you're in therapy. You're not quiet about it. How do I go about doing that? And okay, you're going to have to probably try 2 or 3 therapists. It's not going to be easy on the first one. And it takes time. You have to give it time. And it's hard. It's so hard to find a therapist if you don't have a lot of money in Canada. So how can we help a patient get better faster? And how can we unload therapists? So the thought I had in my head was, okay, we've got all these things I can make a human do, and it loads them heavily. And then afterwards, there's this deprogramming. You put a human in fight or flight, and then afterwards the adrenaline goes away. They kind of have this lulling. They've achieved something. They're learning, and they suddenly get super comfortable afterwards, vulnerable-wise. So if you could slap VR goggles or stick someone in a jiu-jitsu class, throw them in a wind tunnel, find activities or ways that we can stimulate the brain to get people into these vulnerable states, and then have them sit down. What got me thinking this is because I may or may not have tried mushrooms, and I've done jiu-jitsu and I've done lots of therapy. And so there's pharmacological ways to do that. But I have a couple of people really close to me who have family with a type of mental illness that basically means they can't try these things. There's all the current therapeutic methods they're trying: ketamine, mushrooms, ibogaine, psilocybin, which is in mushrooms. There's people who need help who can't take advantage of this, and there's a lot of steps to go through. But if I could throw VR goggles on you and make you dive with sharks, and then you talk to me afterwards about how that made you feel, and then suddenly we've opened that door and reduced that chair time. So when people say therapy or jiu-jitsu is like my therapy, I don't think jiu-jitsu should be your therapy only if you need therapy, because you shouldn't just get your demons out on the mat. It's good too, but the demons you don't exercise them.
Yeah.
So
no, I think I agree with you saying, like, building the trust is hard. I think building the trust with any of these guys, like, I trust everyone here.
Yeah.
There's not one guy here I don't trust, or one girl. It's because I work with them all the time, and I'm, like, trusting them not to strangle me unconscious.
Yeah.
And I'm trusting them not to break my arm or blow my heel or blow my knee apart.
Yeah.
With a heel hook. I think that's why why we get so close so fast is because we're trusting each other, and we're not actually killing each other. You're getting to the point where you're almost killing them.
Yeah,
it's like
you're simulating
you
murder.
trust them to,
if they don't tap.
Yeah, you trust them to let go.
Yeah, serious bodily harm is going to take place.
Yeah. Like any of these guys in here, like I trust fully.
Yeah,
it's like I know you're not going to hurt me on purpose. It's the same thing, but
and I'm just curious about how do we get that.
Yeah, how do you simulate that and then go to therapy?
Yeah, how do I, without giving you a fucking hero dose of mushrooms? So, not that I think you have the answer, but what you brought up got me thinking about that.
Well, that's like, they say those isolation tanks are like the craziest thing because you can't feel your body.
Yeah.
You don't know where your body is.
Sensory deprivation tanks, float tanks, stuff like that. I haven't actually tried one, but I've done float tanks before.
Yeah.
Not the full sensory deprivation. It was at a spa, and it was a big room full of people, and they were playing music in the water. So it's not the same thing, but it was similar-ish. I don't know. Maybe that might be a thing to try.
I have to tell you, one of the craziest experiences like I do once in a while is hop in a sauna.
Yeah.
And then we have a cottage in Temagami, and hop in the sauna, jump in the lake, put your head in the lake with your ears under the water and hear nothing.
Yeah.
And stare at the Milky Way.
Yeah.
That, in the pitch dark, a couple beers or whatever, but it's like, that is one of the craziest experiences you will ever have.
Staring up the stars, it gives you a relatively good understanding of scale.
Yeah, makes your life seem a lot easier.
Well, it crushes the ego in a way.
Yeah, same thing with jiu-jitsu.
Same thing. I get a similar thing with tunnel flying, and hopefully from skydiving. I think skydiving not so much. I think that's just going to be a fucking wild ride to the ground.
I think that's going to be so sick.
I
just have no interest in doing that at all.
It's just $10,000 to get licensed.
That's enough.
So I'm just working the funds and flying in the tunnel to skip a part of it.
$10,000 is enough.
Yeah. But I grew up in a relatively adrenaline-fueled family, or at least the family, my cousins and uncles and stuff, all snowmobiling since we were kids. I got, crashed a motorcycle when I was 16. I don't even think I think I've told my dad, but I've never told my mom. So she's going to hopefully never listen to this. I don't know. There's something you can get it from two ends of the spectrum. If you can find a deep peace.
Like, again, that's why I love the North so much, is because if I really feel like it, I'll just go for a walk, and I won't see anybody.
Yeah.
I can just walk into the bush and just literally just be alone. And I think that's like you're saying. I think that's like when you're in the wind tunnel, you're alone. Like you're with your thoughts. I guess there's an instructor there or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, but when you're in those tanks or whatever, you're
Yeah.
alone. All you're thinking is that. When you're doing jiu-jitsu, you're just thinking of that.
Yeah.
When you're snowmobiling, you're just thinking of that. Like, I love sledding. Like, why I started my business was to buy my sled.
Yeah.
So I get an 850 free ride, which is like a mountain sled.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
ride the Hydro Lines up north.
Yeah.
Those are like the happiest days of my life too, because
Yeah.
you're just literally all you hear is the sound of your sled, and you're just going for as long as you can until you run out of fuel. Then you fill it up, drive home.
Yeah.
But I did frostbite my toes and fingers doing that, but
Yeah. That'll
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Canada's cold in the
they're
winter.
they're always cold now, but it's still worth it. But yeah.
No, it's funny. We live in such stimulating times, you know. You have unbelievably epic numbers of porn addiction, social media addiction, people constantly stuck in these little square screens we keep in our pockets. I feel, I wouldn't say sad, but something like that when I see people who can't get away from it, when they can't find that, you know, hopping in the sauna and then hopping in the lake 2 beers into the night and looking at the stars.
It's nothing better.
No, I think human beings need solace. They need quiet. We need those somber, sobering moments, staring at the stars or alone on your sled and just you and nature.
Yeah.
I think it's super important. I think it's, I worry that we're getting farther and farther and farther from
we're
it.
pretty fucked, actually, I would think. I'm definitely addicted to my phone. Like, I'll find myself opening my phone, like when I'm in a city, even
Yeah.
more, because I have nothing to like do. There's
Oh.
no stairs to shovel. There's no
So
wood
bad.
to chop. There's no where to go. I'm gonna go for a nature walk. I'm gonna see like 15,000 people.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to be here.
That poor meth head who's like,
Yeah.
Like-
But no, I'll find myself opening my phone, just clicking on Instagram and just closing my phone again. I'll be like, what was that? I'll be
Bro.
like, yo, what just happened?
The other day I was with Jenny and I needed to pull something up on Google Maps because we were driving up to Collingwood and I opened my phone and I just went to YouTube.
Yeah.
And she's like, I thought we were looking it up. I was like, I am. Close YouTube. And I'm like, how funny was that? Oh, and my fingers just go back to YouTube.
It's so
and she's
weird.
like, holy, I'm like, this is fucked.
It's
She's
a
like,
problem.
you should delete YouTube.
I just want to chuck my phone in a river.
Oh,
But
yeah.
again, like here, I'm not making excuses. Like I should definitely find other stuff to do, but it's like, it's so easy just to sit in my bed, like when I wake up and just scroll TikTok for an hour,
It's
which
the
is so
worst.
bad. And then you're in the worst mental state. And ever since like I blew my shoulder, I can't really work out. I could hit legs, but I don't really want to do that. But
Maybe just do some bodyweight squats like a man.
yeah, I could do
Or
that.
woman.
Could do that. Yeah, powerful woman or man. But I just find myself being on my phone so much.
It's hard.
But then like, what gets me like up in the morning is like thinking again, back to it, 100 acres, my house, wife and kids running in the yard, and a dog. Like, and that's like, I won't need to be on my phone then. It's like I can literally just not be on my phone because I don't have to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Just deal with my kids and my wife and my dog. And that's what I'm gonna do, man. I'm gonna move back to North Bay, buy 50, 100 acres, or maybe even 10, depends. Build a 500, 600 square foot tiny house. Record me building the house with my skills I've gained over the years, like building. I always knew I've always known, and I still believe in I'm manifesting it. I do that, which is, I think it's a huge thing. That's like a legit, like, superpowers, manifestation. If you look at any successful person, like, that's what they always say. But you have to also put the work in.
Yeah.
So it's manifesting that I will do social media full time. Like, I will run a YouTube channel of me building my homestead, and that's going to pay for my homestead. And then teacher is like plan A until plan B takes over, right? So teaching isn't my like passion. Teaching is like a steady income so that I can really like work on my passion. And then when the passion takes over, then it's like, well, now I'm going to live in the bush and not have to talk to anybody. But I don't know, that's the plan. Just build a bunch of log cabins, build my house, and build a golf course eventually in the
Golf,
back.
eh?
Oh yeah, golf's so fun. Oh dude,
I've never golfed.
I golf.
I've never played a round of golf. I've gone to a driving range.
Yeah,
I've
I
done
got into
mini
golf like 2-3 years ago. Usually just go and like have a couple beers and hit the ball and kind of swear at it and try and play good, but you usually can't. But it's always a good time. But it's not even about golf. My family loves golf, like my cousins. It's about building the golf course and then having the family up to play on the golf course. They're like, oh, that's a lot of grass to cut. It's like, oh, I also worked at a golf course for free, though, because I just wanted to cut the grass.
You're an interesting man.
Yeah, it was kind of strange, actually. But he was like, oh, do you want a job? And I was like, yeah, sure. The golf course was an hour away from my house. So I would drive there, spend all my money in gas. But I was like, you're letting me run this old Massey Ferguson? Like, sure, yeah, like, let's go. Put my headphones on and just cut grass for 7-8 hours a day. And then, but they're like, oh, that's a lot of grass to cut. I'm like, oh, it's like building a gun. It's like when I cut grass, I make sure all the lines are straight, make sure it's nicely striped. And when I make my little golf course, like, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be like, I can't wait to have my family onto this course to enjoy it. I guess at the end of the day, all it comes back to is spending time with your family and like having goals, like having something to work towards, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I found ever since I got hurt, I don't have like training or I don't have anything physical to do, and I don't have like goals right now because it's like I'm kind of stuck.
Yeah.
I can't like, I can work, but it's like I'm hurting.
It's not the same. Yeah.
But it's also like there's no goals, so it's hard to get up in the morning. But I remember when I first started my business, I wanted this snowmobile. I was up at like 4:30 in the morning. I would go work till 8, then go to school, then come home and work. And then I bought my sled, and it was like, oh, this is sweet. Then it was the what now moment, just in a smaller scale. And I was like, why would I get up at 4 a.m. and go work? Like, I have nothing to work towards. And I was like, oh, I want a Sea-Doo. Here's another run. Same thing, buy the Sea-Doo, and then it's just like, I got nothing going on. But no, it's a purpose. I truly think like the key to like a healthy, happy life is like a close friend group, like a fit body, and like a purpose in life.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you. I think, and a lot of people say it, it's borderline cliche, but humans lack so much purpose.
Yeah, nowadays for sure.
And without purpose, there's no pride in your work. And without pride in your work, there's no accomplishment.
Then you're just living.
Yeah,
you're just existing. You're not even living.
Yeah, you're just piling up naps until the big nap.
Yeah, I love naps. I fucking love naps down here. Like I nap at home a bit, not as much, but here I'll crush like a 20-minute nap every day.
I can't.
I gotta do 20.
I'm done. I'm done for the day.
Man.
I wake up from a nap. I'm like, I don't know who I am.
But
I can't speak English. I don't know where I am. I'm hungry. I got to piss, but I'm not hungry. And I'm lying down. I'm warm, and it's cold out from like, fuck that. No, if I lie down for a nap, man, I wake up fucked.
Yeah, just discombobulated.
Yeah,
no,
I'm like, is it been 3 days or 3 minutes? I don't know what the fuck I am.
I just figured out like recently that I sleepwalk.
Oh, good. That's something to learn about.
I was like, because like one night I was alone in my apartment. My buddies were at home, my roommates, and I like woke up and I was like, is there somebody like fucking standing in the corner of my room right now? And I got up and I was like, who the fuck are you? I was ready to like throw down with this guy. I was like, who the fuck you think you are? You being in my room right now? And I got up. I get up. I like walked around the apartment and like checked my like roommates' rooms. And I was like, and then I like went back to bed and I like woke up in bed and I was like, what the fuck just happened? Because I was like conscious, but I wasn't. And I was like, what am I doing? And then just recently, like last night, I came back from an open mic and I had this vivid dream that my roommate was like drinking whiskey when I got home, like in the kitchen. And I asked him like in the morning, I was like, why were you drinking whiskey last night? He was like, what?
What are you talking
And
about?
I was like, holy fuck. Like, but I think it's because I'm getting a lot more sleep. Like, I'm getting like 12, 13 hours of sleep a night just because of my shoulder. Like, I'll wake up, I'll go to bed early, and I'll wake up 7, 8 o'clock, and I don't have class till like 11. And I'll just be like, I'm just going to go back to sleep till 10. Like, I don't have work. I don't have to go out in the cold, sleep. And then I'm like, I'm having these crazy dreams. So I don't know if that has correlation, but I just learned I kind of sleepwalk, which is kind of freaky.
Yeah.
Kind of scary.
I don't sleepwalk. I think I might talk in my sleep. I don't know. I'd have to ask Jenny.
For sure. I have conversations with people.
Oh, Jenny talks in her sleep.
Mhm.
Sometimes I can't sleep, so I'll play chess on my phone, which is not the right thing to do to get to sleep.
Not at all.
I get riled up. These 8-year-olds from India fucking beating the shit out of me in chess
Buddy.
and swearing in broken English over the fucking chat. I'm like, you fucking shithead. But what am I going to do? They're gone in 10 seconds and I can't beat them in chess. But she'll just be like, she'll be asleep. And she'll just, in the middle of silence in the room, I'm just clicking on my phone. And she'll just be like, And I'm like, fuck. Almost throw my phone across the room.
No, it's like my dad always tells me, like when we're at the hunt camp,
Yeah.
because we have bunk beds everywhere and everything. He's just like, yeah, you had a conversation with me last night. I was like, oh, like was it a good one or what?
Jesus.
He's like, yeah, you're talking about some random shit. And I was like, oh, well, I was asleep, so never know. I guess that's like, I don't know. Could be a good and a bad thing because you could like talk shit to somebody and pretend you're asleep,
Maybe.
and then they just like, you're just like, oh, I was just like asleep, or they punch you in the throat and then you're
Awake.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I've had like 1 or 2 night terrors. They're a different beast where you're like awake.
I don't
You can't
know.
move.
I don't know if that sleepwalking thing was like sleep. Is that sleep paralysis? They
Sleep
call it?
paralysis.
You can't move though, right?
Yeah, but you don't know you're awake.
So I had a dream once that a spider was on me. Couldn't move, like a big fucking spider, and then it jumped at me, and I woke up, and I was still kind of asleep, and I looked over the whole room for this spider. Couldn't find the spider. And then I've had a couple times where there's just like a guy in the corner.
I have those dreams.
And I'm like, dude, I will fuck you up. Come over here. And then he's just gone. So it's weird, but
See, my sleep paralysis demon, I haven't had them in years. But no, it's I don't think about fucking them up.
oh, dude, I was ready to throw down with this one guy because he was just like in the corner of my room. I was like, what the fuck are you doing here? I'm trying to sleep. I had to go to work the next day. I was like, what do you want? I was ready, and then he just disappeared. So maybe that's why he hasn't been back. But I don't know, buddy. I just sleepwalking is kind of a scary thing to me. But
Yeah.
how did we get onto that?
I don't know. I don't know how we
into
got into sleepwalking.
I can't remember. Anyways,
I don't care.
I don't really give a shit. But dude, podcasting is fun.
It is.
I might start one of my own.
Hey,
My brother always wanted to start a podcast and talk to
Fucking
my
do it.
grandfather and like my neighbors and get stories from them.
That's the whole point. Like when I was first doing this, I had my own John Wick moment. People kept asking me if I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm
back.
back. No, people kept asking like, what's it about? I'm like, I don't know yet. I'm not thinking about that. I'm just recording conversations. But what it is for me is at any given day, and I explained this to Anton after we were done recording, which I was annoyed about, but at any given moment, you're at a stoplight. There's, 20 other cars within 100 meters of you. There is probably a lot of people, like 50 to 80% of the people in those cars have a story that someone hearing it might be just the right story for them to change something they're doing in their life or how they feel about something. And that's why I asked Anton, like, what are you going to do after fighting? Because there's a lot of people from a lot of different trades, paramedics who quit or retire, veterans coming back from war, or even worse, the dude who joins the army and never serves a tour.
Is
And,
that not good?
Well, like, imagine you're a young kid, you sign up, you want to fight for your country, and you do a 6-year career in motor pool just working on Humvees.
Yeah.
And you leave and you don't want to tell people you were in the army because they're like, oh man, did you ever go to war? Have you ever killed somebody? And it's like, no, I fucking turned wrenches for 6 years just in a uniform and having to do parade on the weekends. there's a lot of people who don't get to, who, you know, they miss that one chance, that girl on the bus they should have talked to, or all these experiences in our life where we get regrets and we carry them around. It's a lot easier to carry that weight when you know other people are too, you know?
Yeah, it's good. Like, as I always say, it's good to talk to people.
Yeah, so I think there's so many stories out there and experiences that don't get shared, you know, like, and nothing against any other podcast, but you get, you know, a billionaire real estate guy. Cool. I can not really relate, you know, or professional. I guess I've had a professional athlete on my podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, but you get, you know, these unapproachable things. And there's so many of us walking around with things that we just can't put down for some reason, or it's hard for us to carry. And just knowing that you're not alone in, you know, carrying that burden. So I just want to go around. I want to talk to iron workers. I want to talk to nurses. I want to hear what they said, like what COVID was like. You know, everyone's got these support our frontline workers posters up, but how many of them bought a coffee and sat down with a nurse and is like, you know what, unburden yourself for an hour and a half. Tell me what's going on and how you felt and what your life was like in those moments and in general.
Tell me what it was like, yeah.
Yeah, because I think about your wanting to get kids into blue-collar work. I think that there's a lot of lives out there that are beautiful, and there's tarnish on all of them. And putting that on display and putting it somewhere where everyone can access it, you know, if one episode helps one person step back from a brink,
yeah,
job done.
It's the same thing with like teaching. Like, it's not my true like passion or calling or anything like that, but it's if I can stop a kid from selling crack and he likes woodworking and he was just misunderstood by math teachers or history teachers, or they're like, why can't you sit still in class? Why are you so annoying, like talking to everybody? You put him in woodworking and he's just like dialed in because that's his thing. If I can help a couple of those, like that makes it worth it to me.
Yeah, same.
But I think that's going to be one of the most rewarding things about teaching.
Yeah,
is helping kids out and making sure, because I know tons of bad kids in high school that just need like a little like, hey, smarten up.
Yeah,
from not like by an authority figure, but not someone that they don't respect, by an authority figure that they respect. They need a little like smarten up. Like I'll be the class's buddy. I'll have authority.
Yeah.
I'll be the one in control. I'll be your buddy. But if you're going to step out of line, like I always think of it like my grandpa, he's my buddy and everything. But if he was ever like, hey, smarten up, it's like, oh shit, don't ever do that again.
Yeah.
So if I can be like that to a kid where it's like, we can joke around, whatever. But if you're starting to be annoying and I can be like, just look at him, not swear, not yell, just be like, hey, smarten up. He's going to be like, oh, okay, I'll smarten up. Because he has that respect for you. I guess that's what I'm kind of looking to.
What you're describing is leadership.
Yeah, I guess. But I guess that's what it is.
No, that's exactly what it is. It's how that respect is gained is we don't invest in people anymore. You know, kids don't get invested in, especially I'm a young guy. I'm not a young guy anymore, but I was a young man at one time. And the thing for me, or the thing that changed my life, was the first time a man I respected invested in me. And when someone like that tells you to smarten up, you smarten up.
Yeah, man, like that's one lessons you'll never forget is from people that you respect.
Yeah.
And if Scott from here was like, hey, smarten up.
Yeah, stop doing this thing.
Yeah, I'd be like, never doing that again.
Yeah.
Anton said something like that. Never doing that again. If my closest buddy said something like that, he was like, you need to work on this, you need to stop doing that, I would listen to him. That's what friends are for. But if someone that I didn't know that well like a supply teacher was like smarten up, I'd be like, yeah, right. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
okay, lady. Like,
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah, I had a couple supply teachers growing up that, like, I'm sure I was being a dickhead because I was in like grade 6,
Yeah.
but they didn't like, I guess, go out of their way to try and gain respect or be like nice. They came in the pursuit of like, I'm the authority figure. Like, you're gonna listen to me because I said so. It's like, I don't know if that's the way to go about that.
No, I had a teacher. I have a lot of teachers, but I had a teacher named Mr. Perrin, and I was an absolute shithead from a very young age. And this was not even high school yet; it was middle school.
Yeah, that was middle school for me.
Yeah, and he moved to Japan. He was a hockey player. He was a teacher over there. I caught him dating one of the other teachers in the school at a Blockbuster once. It was the best ever. I can't remember the teacher's
Poor
name.
guy.
Miss Mindow. No, not Miss Mindowi. It was like one of the hot teachers.
Oh.
And I caught the two of them in a Blockbuster. And he's bald, so his whole head went red. But he made such an impact on like my group of friends' lives. And bit of a sad story. One of my buddies in that group of friends ended up taking his own life. And Mr. Perrin showed up at the funeral.
Yeah.
And it was wild. It was weird thing at a funeral, but I was so glad to be able to tell him like, my life's pretty kick-ass. I'm doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with where I am.
It's nice to be able to like go up to someone who helped form who you are.
Yeah.
And show them what you've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's an exciting thing.
Yep.
It's like for me, like I said, I grew up spoiled. It was my parents, mom and dad. It was always like trying to impress them, but they were also like super supportive. Like,
Yeah.
my dad would bring me to hockey practice, and I got obsessed with hockey. I started super late. I was so bad at hockey, dude. They fucking held me back. I was supposed to play Pee-wee, like my age. They put me back a league because I couldn't like skate. That pissed me off. So then I took lessons. My dad would keep me like, he would get me there at 7, and there would be open ice after for like 2 hours. He had work, but like he ran his own business, so like he would stay late after. He would fucking stay there with me for like 2 hours and be like, skate laps, buddy. All of a sudden, I'm playing double A, like, which is like a pretty high up in North Bay.
Yeah.
Like 3 years later. And then like all of a sudden I'm the assistant captain of the high school team. And like I'm the assistant captain of the A team, like the year before double A. And it was like, it all just compounded from, I guess, good support.
Yeah.
And that's why a good gym's important.
And
like,
that's why good teachers are important.
yeah. So I'm going to try and be that for a couple kids. If I can just help and be like their guy who, if they ever have something wrong, they come talk to me.
Yeah.
I would like to be that guy, which is what I would like to take pride in, but I'd also like to go live in the bush too. So
Yeah.
there's lots going on, but yeah.
You all need everyone needs dreams.
Well,
you have to have a purpose.
Well, I'm going to make it happen. I just don't know how or when yet, but I will have my dream life.
Your tiny house.
Oh yeah.
I will watch your YouTube videos.
Buddy, I will. It'll be like as soon as I move home,
Yeah.
which is September.
I know. You're leaving.
Gone forever.
Bro, we got to get a couple more episodes in before then.
I'll be back. Like, I'm definitely going to come visit. Like, this is like my home. Like, this gym. This is where like I was at a couple seminars in North Bay, and they were giving out blue belts, and I was like, please don't give me my blue belt. And I had been training for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And I was decent, and I was like a white belt. Like I was pretty comfortable.
You're a
rolling
very
with-
savage white belt.
Yeah, I was pretty comfortable rolling with other white belts. Like if I saw a 3-stripe, I'd be like, all right, this is not like mass.
Yeah.
So I was like, please don't give me my blue belt, please. I want to get it from mass because that's where like I was like formed.
Yeah.
And I was just talking about that one day, and Hammer overheard, and he came out and he was like, you want to get your blue belt from mass, eh? And I was like, yeah, just because like I've trained there mostly. And he was like, no, that's a good shout. He's like, get it from Scott. Scott's like the head brown belt, one of the head brown belts here.
Yeah.
And he's been one of the like the big influences on my jiu-jitsu.
He's like, I've absolutely copied his game.
Yeah. I don't really, I can't really copy his game, but like
Yeah, slightly
how
different
he
body
is, yeah, how he is like as a person,
Yeah.
and just like rolling with him, he's just like, that's the guy I wanted to get my blue belt from,
I know.
which is pretty cool that I did. But it's nice being a blue belt from Mass Academy too. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's I don't have to worry about going to another gym and feeling like a fake blue belt.
No, like I
It's-
train in a couple other gyms, and I'm pretty comfortable.
Pretty sure you're a blue belt.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable rolling with other blue belts. And for the longest time, I was called a sandbagger. Go train in Aurelia. They're like, you fucking sandbagger. I was like, man, like, you got to come train in my gym and see who I'm training against. Because, like, for the longest time, I would go and I'd be comfortable against blue belts in Aurelia. But here I was definitely still a white belt. Like, all of a sudden I got my blue belt. I'm still getting crushed here, but I feel comfortable going on the gym saying, like, I'm a blue belt,
Yeah.
which is a pretty nice feeling. But yeah, there's nothing like this spot for sure. Like, the chances of me coming here too is crazy. Moving to Kitchener, like, choosing this gym to come train jiu-jitsu at is kind of like, it's kind of weird it happened.
Yeah, there's some statistical analysis to be done there for sure.
Especially like Waterloo region.
There's a lot of gyms around here.
There's like 15 gyms.
Yeah.
And for me to choose Mass and Cambridge, it's kind of a little trick, but yeah, it's pretty neat.
It's a good place.
It's a spot to be.
All right.
Shout out Mass.
Shout out to Mass. That's where we're recording. Thank you, Crew Chris, for letting us record a podcast in
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, it's a little
Gym?
chilly in here, isn't it? I'm
The
fucking
heater's
cold.
turned off.
Yeah.
We can call it soon because it's
No, we don't. That's why I'm like, you can hear my voice. Like, I'm a fucking little chilly. I'm from the north, but I'm like always cold. But I think it's, for those of you that are listening and don't know, I'm like a tiny, like 155 pound guy. But I also,
you're twinkish.
yeah, I'm a tiny little guy with
Yeah.
no meat on my bones, and
No.
I also like frostbite my toes and my fingers, so I'm always just fucking freezing.
I'm a walrus. I can sit in like 4-degree water for 6
Dude, I'm
hours.
so cold all the time. I definitely left the window open in my apartment too.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
That's gonna suck. Oh, and my sheets are done. Fuck, those are in the dryer. Oh, dude, this is gonna be something.
Mission prep. You gotta get it all done ahead of time.
Yeah, well, I'm starting to get a cold, and I was like, I think it's the air quality in my apartment. So I like opened the window. I was
yeah.
like, this is gonna be great to sleep in. Nice fleece duvet. Fleece duvet is in the fucking dryer. It's definitely not dry.
That's the best. You're gonna have to just sit there on your
Oh,
couch, fucking
man.
cold, waiting for it to dry. Being like,
I might just wrap up in the duvet.
Just
without
put on
the
your
cover
winter
on.
shit and just curl up in that.
My coveralls. I gotta bring my coveralls in tonight too. Gotta go to work tomorrow morning. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that's gonna be so not fun.
I gotta wake up, maybe sleep in. I have a lazy day tomorrow.
Yeah, nice.
No, I got a bunch of shit to do. I'm gonna edit this, and we just moved in, so there's 100 things to do. I haven't moved any of my shit. I still have to go get it all.
Where is it? To your old place?
Guelph, yeah. So I just
Where are you living now?
Waterloo.
Oh,
I live
nice.
with Jenny.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she bought a house. I live in it.
Sweet.
That's a pretty sweet deal.
That's pretty nails.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
No, living with someone is like, I lived with a girl for a very short period of time a while ago. It was an extremely toxic relationship.
Those or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but now like, no, living with Jenny is pretty sweet.
Once you find the right lady, I'm sure it's great.
It honestly is, and they're, yeah. I knew date 2. I was like,
Good lady.
this is the one. I'm good.
Good.
I told her that too. I was like, I'm good. Like
Yeah.
if you are, I'm good. Like I'm good to.
I told
be
you I
committed
was
to you.
like, I better come to the wedding because I saw you guys like interacting when we drove to. Was it Anton's fight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
When we
Anton's
drove
last
there and saw you guys interacting, I was like, all right, when's the wedding? I'm coming.
one. Yeah. No, one of her friends is constantly like pushing.
Yeah.
So like, you guys are next. You guys are next.
Yeah, that's, I don't know.
I don't mind. Jenny and I joke about it all the time.
How long
All
have you
the
been
time. 2 years in February.
Buddy.
We knew each other she likes to take her time about decisions.
Yeah.
Like we started dating and day 2, I was like, I'm down for monogamy. I'm good. I'm good. Like I've
One
seen
part
enough.
of the rest of your life.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done doing the dating stuff.
Yeah.
You're like amazing. It also helped that like we went to a board game cafe, and I'm pretty strategic. I played chess for most of my life. I've played a lot of board games. I like that kind of stuff. She fucking thrashed me.
Smoked you in chess?
No, not in chess. She doesn't beat me in chess.
Oh,
Let's not get crazy.
sorry.
But every other fucking board game. So I was picking like Battleship, like games I've played 100 times. I played online, nerdy fucking board games, whatever I could, and she fucking thrashed me. Everything. Every time we do any board games, she just kicks my ass.
I never really got into the board games. I think it was... yeah, we never really played board games. We played like checkers at the hunt camp. Oh, we play euchre. We play euchre a lot. But mostly like at the hunt camp, we just play euchre or we just go to bed because we're tired.
Yeah.
But the family parties and stuff, we usually just play guitar till 4 a.m.
That's not bad.
We just jam out, but we play euchre all night too. But
no, she thrashed me, and I was like, "Yep, you're the one." Good. And then no, that was I think in like a November or September, and then I was like, "I know you're gonna want to take time to think about it before we become boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm just letting you know I'm ready.
I'm in.
Take your time. Don't panic." And then, yeah, she ended up on... She's the best. Another reason she's amazing.
She's a good lady.
She asked me out on Valentine's Day.
Oh, boy. So you're coming up, your anniversary.
Yeah.
That's 14th, right?
Yeah, so I don't have to do Valentine's Day, her birthday, Christmas, and an anniversary. She took
Just
an
Valentine's
entire gift-giving holiday off the calendar for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a good lady.
Yeah, I don't know if she knew what she was doing, but
So you don't have to buy 2 gifts then?
No.
I always wondered how that worked. Like,
yeah. No.
you don't buy 2, just 1?
Yeah, I don't buy her like a Valentine's Day gift and an anniversary gift.
Okay. That's clutch.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice.
I get 1. Yeah, it's a good save. It's a good job.
That's cool.
I was proud of that. Yeah.
Good, buddy. Good.
Yeah.
I got to get one of those things.
These?
Yeah, they're coring.
It's awesome. They're not super expensive. There's a newer, better one out too. But
like I said, my brother wants to start a podcast pretty bad.
Bro,
and I think that would be
do it.
a good gift actually for his birthday or something like
Zoom
that.
H4n Pro
I'll
is
take
the
a
newer
photo
one.
of it.
But
and
no.
then yeah, that'd be actually super sweet.
It just throws it on an SD card. I stick it in the computer, and then Audacity. Yeah, no, it's wicked.
Yeah, it's super sweet.
I should have a door open.
Edit too. There's a guy going upstairs.
Okay, well, Crew Chris, I locked that door. Someone else unlocked it, and he's going upstairs. So
better check that before we leave, eh?
yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something.
So what's next on the horizon after building a pool, school? Just move home.
Yeah, move home.
Teachers college.
Yeah, I gotta work for teachers colleges in July.
Okay.
I gotta work for 7-8 months, something like that. I'll probably go frame something like that and go to teachers college for 18 months.
Where are you going to teachers college?
Aurelia,
Nice.
Lakehead. So live with my cousins, train jits, work in the bush, do whatever. But do that and then search for my property and buy it.
Yeah.
That's it, man. And then start making YouTube videos and start getting that to be the main source of income.
What's the first video you ever posted on YouTube, or have you posted one yet? Any of your Nerf battles up there, people?
Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
They're private now.
Oh.
But we posted all the Nerf wars and stuff like that. I have a hunting channel, so I do that. I post videos all the time on there. I have my business channel. Post videos on there all the time, but I'm not like consistent with it. It's just when I feel like it. Yeah. Especially the hunting one.
What's your favorite thing to hunt? Moose?
Partridge.
Partridge?
Yeah, because you go out with your buddy, you shoot the
You're
shit.
the second person who's told me that.
You can just be as loud as you want, and you just go shoot, and you get your food for the day. You go home, have a beer, and just cut it up and cook it. Partridge, like moose and deer are fun, but you're just like, you gotta be so quiet and stealthy. It's like partridge, you're like, fucking right there, boom! So you can be extra Canadian with it, and
Nice.
I like that better. Duck hunting, I like duck hunting a lot.
I like
Again,
duck.
just because you're just hanging out. Yeah.
So, you see, I would say that you did a good job of explaining or at least expressing the value of good friends.
That's the biggest thing, man.
Yeah.
I've had the same friends for, how old am I now? 20?
Saying it like it's old.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of the math. Probably 6-7 years.
Yeah.
Same friend group. Just get together. We plan boys trips. We go golf. That's why I started golfing, just hanging out with my buddies. And it's like, I got one best friend. His name was Liam. He's my hunting buddy. He's like a brother to me.
Yeah.
There's just like, I'd do anything for that kid. He'd do the same for me. So I think it's pretty important to have close friends and family. Like, I don't get, if you have I'm lucky enough to have like a good family, and like I spend as much time as I can with them. Like, mom's side of the family, I'll drive down to Orillia, hang out, play guitar all night. Like, same thing. Like, I'll call my Nana as much as I can now. I've tried to make it a point to call my Nana like once a week.
Yeah.
Which I haven't been too good with, but I'm trying to make it a point. Like, I think what I'm going to start doing is when I'm driving to Jits, call, how are you? Good, just checking on you, hang up, whatever. But it's just to make sure. I think that's important.
I agree with you. Like, I remember a couple years ago, like 10 years ago, I realized how much I missed my grandparents, because my grandparents and parents don't have the best relationship with each other either. So, and I just saw them on like Christmas, Thanksgiving. But I realized I really wanted to have a better relationship with them. And yeah, ever since, I just go have dinner with them regularly. Jenny loves it because my grandmother bakes.
Nice.
Jenny's a fucking fiend for sweets.
Dude, I love candy. I'm a big candy guy. Oh,
Really?
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's being close to your family is like the biggest thing for me. And that's why I think I'm so excited to have mine. Like,
Yeah.
I just want a son. I think I want a daughter too. I want the son first.
I don't think you get to choose. You might be able to choose when you're there.
Maybe you can. Well, yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
But prefer to do it the old-fashioned way. But definitely gonna wish for a son first, so he can train jits and just maul any boyfriend that comes around.
Yeah.
But then the girl's also gonna train jits, so she can also just maul whoever comes around. Like Isabel here, Anton's wife.
Oh my God.
If my daughter trains anything like her, she's gonna be absolutely fine.
Oh yeah.
Like, you don't have to be worried about her at all.
No.
But no, I'm just excited for that one day, and I'm gonna know when it is. Sitting on the porch, with the dog, throwing the ball, with my big nice lawn that I've cut and the tree fence around it, and just watching the kids fuck around out front. I'm gonna have it one day.
Yeah.
That's the goal, and I think having a good family like has made me want that. Like, that's my goal. Is just have a family, but.
I think I'm in the opposite camp of you. I had my family was a source of stress, to say the least. So like, I've talked to Jenny about it because she doesn't know if she wants kids. I don't want kids.
Really?
If she said she wanted to have kids, I wouldn't leave her. I would put a baby in her. But I've kind of left that decision up to her. No, I don't know. I just, different.
It's different, like different lives.
Yeah.
I know people who don't have kids and they're happy just doing their own thing.
Yeah, I'm not super worried about the happiness thing, but I think about it sometimes. Like, it'd be cool to have a kid, but I don't know. Different childhood. Do it. Have a kid.
Yeah, but dude, like a little me running around. Imagine that. We'll come for a trip up to Kitchener.
Yeah,
I'll make sure he's not.
No, your kid would be great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I think one mic is enough for the world. Oh, there's 40,000 of us. You could end up like Dan, though. He wants a son. He's got 4 daughters.
Yeah, that's something.
He keeps trying.
I mean, good for him.
Yeah.
It's A for effort, but no, I definitely want kids. Doesn't matter if it's a boy or girl. Love it the same, but I just want to like raise them and just make sure they're like good humans and they contribute well to society. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's how it's supposed to be.
hope that person who fell down the stairs didn't die.
That didn't sound too good.
We could record proper CPR technique.
Yeah, but no, I think that's always been my goal, man. It's just since I
Sit
was
on your
16. Yeah,
Deck and watch.
I don't know
your kids
why
run.
it is.
I think it's amazing. I think it's got to be fun. Like being lost, picking a career, it not working out, and then having to look at the world and be like, I don't know where I fit.
Yeah,
Like, it's got to be relieving to have that image in your mind.
I have like someone said this to me, or I heard it somewhere. It's like if you're lucky enough to find what you love, just do it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like content creation and like family.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm gonna build my tiny house. I'm gonna have my family. I'll record me building my house, and then I can spend all the time with my family. So that's the game plan. That's what it's always been, and it hasn't changed yet in 5 years. So why would it?
I'll be uncle to Dan's kids.
Yeah,
I'll be
nice.
I'll be their Uncle Mike.
Yeah, like
That's what I'll go for.
yeah, and you don't need to have kids.
No,
I'm just
they
saying
hate
that's
me right
that's
now.
my goal.
His kids are like,
Oh yeah,
well, no, one of them likes me. She just takes my hat off and runs around with it. But the other one's like, but she's like 13 going on 30, and she's just like,
okay.
she's like, you're an idiot. I'm like, you're right, but you should be nice to me. Maybe
She's
you don't
in that
have to
phase
be.
of life.
Oh yeah, she's too cool for me.
Yeah, 13. You're just too cool for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. It's gonna be hard, just like everything.
Yeah,
But like I think that's what you're meant to do as a human. Like my belief is just make sure you produce good humans
yeah,
and solid people that are gonna contribute to society. Be a good human, and then you can enjoy your weekends. You can enjoy your day off, and you can sit and be like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna go chop wood for 8 hours, or I'm gonna go mow my lawn and just relax because I worked my ass off when I was younger to get this property."
I would guess statistically it's pretty unique to have the clarity of vision that you have at your age. Do you notice that? Like when you're hanging out with like I'm 36. Everyone around me either has kids or isn't having kids.
Yeah.
But, people your own age, do you notice a difference? Like you have that's one of the most unique and interesting things about you is you have an unbelievably clear vision of what
I got
the
a
future is
game
going
plan,
to be.
dude.
Bro, yes.
I'll lay it
At
awake
20.
at night and just fucking, how am I gonna do this?
Yeah.
My buddies are all pretty mature.
Yeah.
I think that's why I hang around them. Like my buddy Liam, he's going to nurse. He's being a nurse right now, and he's going to medical school.
Nice.
My buddy Dallas, he's a heavy duty mechanic. My two other buddies they're in school for kinesiology and like a computer science major or something like that.
Yeah.
And like their plans aren't as to my extent to be like, dude, I'm buying 100 acres and I'm fucking punching a mile long road in with maple trees on the side so that when I come into my house, there's like a nice turnaround. Like, bro, I have floor plans.
Yeah.
I made floor plans when I was 16 and I remake them every year, but whatever. But they're not as vivid as my plan is, but they have a plan. I met guys that are just like, I'm getting fucking hammered on Friday night. And I'm like, okay. Like, you doing anything? Like, trust me, I love drinking just as much as the next guy. But, like, I find a beer tastes way better after a long work week than it does on a random Tuesday when you got nothing going on.
Yeah.
That's just a sad beer. You don't want that
That's
beer.
a sad beer.
That's
That
not a
is
porch
sad
beer. That's
No.
like a I'm unemployed. I work at Tim's and I got nothing going on.
Yeah. I don't want
Whereas,
to go
like-
to work tomorrow beer.
Yeah, mine is like, I'm going to love my job. I want to get up in the morning. I want to have my property. That's always been the goal, man, is property. It's always been be able to live off the land, not rely too much on the government, and just like have a family. And I'll have it one day. But yeah, I guess like my buddies, they have plans. Like Liam's going to medical school. He's going to be a surgeon and he'll do it.
Yeah.
Dallas, heavy equipment mechanic. Guy's a weapon. All the other boys they're dialed in. And yeah, it's just my one buddy's in the military. But I like to think ahead. I like to see like 5 years ahead
Mhm.
and work towards that. I guess it's becoming the man you want to be or acting like the man you want to be before you become him.
Yeah.
So again, like I kind of say it to myself in the morning. It's kind of weird, but it's like wake up, like it's definitely cheesy, but it's like become the best version of yourself today. Like develop traits and habits that are going to turn you into a man that's going to be a good husband and a good father and a good person. That's like what I say to myself every morning, or try to at least. And that's what I try and work towards. Again, it's hard as shit here because it's like I'm so unmotivated.
Yeah.
But it's like that's like my mindset, and I'm definitely not acting on it in the way I should be. But when I get in my groove, you feel so good. But like since I got hurt, I was kind of derailed me a bit. So now I just got to get back into it. But that's always been the plan, man. It's always been, and people always are like, "You're so old." Like when I was 16, they're like, "You talking about fucking property taxes?" Like we were crushing beers, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna live out in Redbridge because there's no property taxes or like really low property taxes, and there's no building codes." And they're like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I was just like, "I don't know, man. I'm just thinking about this, but it's always been the goal, and it will be the reality soon."
What non-goal behavior? What behavior that pulls you away from
Pool.
the goal you want? The pool.
Pool.
That's
Pool
your-
bars. I love pool.
yeah.
Pool.
I should get you to play my buddy Jesse. He's a
He
pool
probably
shark.
smoked me.
He's really fucking good. I played him and his brother once. Mind you, I was fucked up on mushrooms.
Yeah,
So the balls were moving around and it was hard to aim on.
It's probably tough.
Yeah.
What pulls me away is probably like going out on Friday nights or Saturday nights. But I'm
Yeah.
20, so
You're supposed to.
I can do that. But when I move back home, it won't be that much. But it's definitely like pool and beers. That's what moves you away from your goals. But
If you could describe a life that would be the worst life you could possibly
living
imagine.
in a city, I'd fucking lose it. I couldn't do it. I go to Toronto, I'm just disgusted.
Yeah.
I it's cool to look at for like a day,
Yeah.
and I feel like it'd be fun with the nightlife now that I'm older to go out and like see what's up. But living in a city would, like where I am right now, the rest of my life it would be not worth living.
Yeah.
If I was stuck in an apartment, couldn't do it. That would be hell. No purpose, stuck in an apartment doing a job I don't like, not having another mountain to climb, just existing. Couldn't do it.
What would you say to someone living in an apartment who hates their life? What's the first thing you'd ask them to change? If you were God for a day and you could guarantee this change of behavior, what's the one thing, what's the first thing you'd have them do?
Just get up and put your shoes on. Just get out of bed. That's the biggest thing. Like I don't want to get out of bed sometimes, and it's like as soon as you get up and get in the shower, you feel a lot better.
Yeah.
So if I could instill one thing, it would be the ability just to get up, like every day, and like that's like one of my favorite quotes is like just put the shoes on. You don't want to go for a run, just put the shoes on.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna go for a walk. It's still better than not doing anything. So I guess like
You're freezing.
I'm fucking so cold, dude. Like
I'm so sorry.
My voice probably the
I'm
whole
so
time
sorry.
is so shaky. I'm so fucking cold.
He's not on the verge of
Oh
crying,
my
everyone.
God.
He's shivering.
Yeah, I'm so cold.
Bro, you have a coat right
here.
there.
I'm gonna put this on. Is that all right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
We can call it soon too. It's 2 hours, but we can keep going.
Loving this. We're just getting into the good stuff. I was gonna put this on a while ago, but
Bro, I should have said something earlier. I feel bad. My poor anorexic twink boy
buddy, I'm so fucking
is
small.
dying.
Dude, did you
Is
see
that
me the
mustache
whole
not
time?
keeping you warm?
Oh, just so everybody knows, I have a sick mustache.
It looks.
It's like a caterpillar just growing on my lip.
It doesn't
But-
look like a caterpillar.
Oh, I feel so fucking good now.
Okay.
Anyways, just get up.
Just
Put
get
your
up.
shoes on. Get up, put your shoes on, and find something that fucking makes you smile. Because that's the hardest thing. The hardest thing is finding what you like. And once you can find that, it's like, dude, you're set. You got your trip.
What is your best way to avoid people who want to inject themselves in your life and give you bad advice? You've described a pretty solid group of people around you, and
Yeah.
all of them are kind of headed in the same direction.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get off track. How do you vet who gets into that tribe?
Get to meet my friends. Meet my family. If you don't clash with my friends, fuck off. Like these are my boys. Like if you don't like them, then I don't like you. I kind of grown up with my dad, kind of giving me like a bullshit radar because he worked in business and he knows like anyone who talks about money doesn't have money. So you can kind of see when someone's bullshitting. When someone doesn't catch themselves on a lie and when someone doesn't tell you they don't know something. That's the biggest red flag you will ever see. Anyone who bullshits something and they continuously like telling you stuff and they think you don't know what you're talking about. I met people that are trying to like sell me shit and they're like talking to me and I'm like, you have no idea what you're talking. Like I know more than you do on this, but they're saying the wrong stuff. And they're so confident about it. It's like salesmen and stuff like that. It's like
no salesman.
Like not all salesmen, but like the ones that like lie and won't admit that they don't know something.
Yeah.
If you never admit that you don't know something to me, like after a while, it's like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Like there's something
Can't
off.
know everything.
No, you can't be perfect at everything. Like I try and do my best to admit like if I'm wrong, I'll be like, oh, I'm wrong. And I'll try my best to not like lie or like expand on a story to make me sound cooler. I'll just be like, just tell it how it was. And that makes the true stories even better.
Yeah.
Which is, I think that's like the biggest radar flag is like, or the radar dot is like, if you don't catch yourself being wrong, if you're not like, actually, I don't know. Let me get someone who does know.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you're talking to someone and they're trying to sell you something, they're trying to tell you how much money they have, it's just like, man, go away.
Yeah.
I don't need to talk to you. But for like in people, like, are you asking like people I would like meet?
Not in general. It's kind of leading me to the next question. Well, I have two questions in mind. One of them is a heavy one.
Okay.
Do you want to deal with a heavy question today?
Yeah. Let me warm up.
Yeah, I know. I want to make you do some jumping jacks.
No, we're all right. Next time we do this podcast, we're going to do it in a fucking
Warm
area.
Yeah.
We're going to do it at your house or something.
Yeah. Basement. Have you been betrayed?
By a buddy?
Not even by a buddy, maybe a woman or a girl. I guess you're 20.
Betrayed?
Have you felt betrayal?
I can't say. I'm trying to think. I had a pretty good life. I got pretty good friends. I found them when I was younger. I never felt like betrayal, like it was that serious though. Like the only type of betrayal I ever felt was it's a funny story. How me and my buddy became friends was we were dating the same girl in grade 9. We didn't know it. And we were on the same hockey team and she was like sending us the exact same texts. And we were like, whoa. And I was like, bro, no way. And then that moment forward, we were like, yeah, we're just going to be best friends. And we're never going to let a girl intervene on us. So we've always been like that, emotionally intelligent, I guess you call it, since we were young. We were just like, okay, whatever. That must just be her problem. Like, it's not us. We're best friends now. That's the only time where you like open your phone, you're like, oh, fuck. This is the same text message. But
I had a moment like that once.
did you?
Yeah, I did a shitty thing. I didn't do a shitty thing. I was in a toxic relationship with someone. I've had a couple of those. And I felt like she was doing something not cool.
Yeah.
She went to sleep.
Was.
I checked her phone.
Oh,
Don't do that.
That's
ever.
tough.
Don't do it. It was a stupid thing to do because 9 times out of 10, if you're looking for something, you're going to find it.
Yeah.
And if you're in a relationship where you feel like you have to check the person's phone, get out of the relationship or get a fucking couples therapy.
I think that's why I haven't felt like super betrayed. Because if I if I ever like see someone or that I'm like kind of sus about,
Yeah.
I'll just kind of be like, I don't know why I don't like you, but I'm not really gonna hang around you. But if it's with like a girl or something, it's like I always just put it back in like in my head, like, oh, if you're gonna do that, then you're not my wife, so it doesn't really matter. And that's how I try and live my life with anyone. It's like, all right, it's kind of like just let them.
Yeah.
So I can't say I've ever felt betrayed because I don't let myself. I'm just like, all right, whatever. You want to do that? Then I got my buddies. They would never do that. And you're obviously not someone that I should care about too much because you're going to do shit like that. That's how it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
What, obviously there's going to be many qualities, but what do you think is the quality that you think is most important in your wife?
Being
Is
a good
it
mother. Just like kindness.
kindness?
Dude, I know this one girl in North Bay. I'm going to fucking marry her.
Yeah.
I always say it like as a joke.
But
Like, I'm like, oh, I love her. Like, I love her. Like, to whoever, like an Instagram model, I'm like, I love her. I love her. But, like, this girl, like, you can see it in her eyes. Like, she's going to be a great mother. And, like, when the time's right, I'm definitely going to try and pursue that. But,
yeah.
yeah, like, just a kind, someone you know would raise your kids good with the right morals.
So kindness.
Yeah.
Moral fiber.
Yeah, just, yeah, making sure they're going to treat your kids with the respect they deserve. It's kind of how I look at it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What?
Weird look for a 20-year-old there.
Yeah.
Weird headspace.
Yeah. You're not the average 20-year-old. I would definitely.
Yeah, no, I've been told that a lot. Like, I'm a lot older than. I hang around older people all the time.
Yeah. Especially working the jobs.
Yeah,
you work.
working trades.
There's always a senior dude who's, sage wisdom.
Yeah, so I've learned a lot. But yeah. Yeah, people always tell me, they're like, once I get into conversations like this with me.
Yeah.
Because we've had conversations, but we never had like the talk about the property and stuff, have we?
You've mentioned it before,
Yeah.
but not to this depth. I haven't seen it in your eyes the way I've seen it tonight.
Yeah, like it's always in my head.
Yeah.
Like if I'm feeling sad, I'll just think about like building my house. I'll feel so good. It's like crack. But yeah, people always say I'm a little bit older, more mature, I guess.
You have an old soul, one of
Yeah.
those?
Like I play old country music, and people are like, "Yeah, you're getting old soul," or whatever. But yeah,
Not bad.
fucking buddy, we gotta do this in a warmer spot next
Okay.
time.
You know what? Let's call it
All right,
old soul,
old soul.
Good chat.
12:00.
freezing cold. Yeah.
It's freezing.
Oh, fuck.
Work's gonna be fun tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do this like
Yeah.
often. This is sweet.
100%. We will.
This is so sweet. Anyways, cool.
Okay.
All right, bye everybody.
Have a good night.